Think different, live better. A life-changing story. In a crowded city full of rushing people and noisy trains, there lived a poor man named Ravi. He sat near the railway station every day, begging for a few coins from strangers who passed by. His clothes were torn, his face weathered by the sun, and his eyes full of quiet desperation. One day, as Ravi stretched out his hand to a tall man in a fine suit, he thought to himself, "This man looks rich. If I ask him, he'll surely give me a good amount." So he approached and begged as usual. The tall man paused, looked at him and said, "You always ask, but have you ever given anything to anyone?" Ravi was puzzled. "Sir, I'm just a beggar. I have nothing to give." The man replied, "Then you have no right to ask. I believe in give and take. If you have something to offer, only then should you expect something in return." With that, the man boarded the train and disappeared into the crowd. Ravi sat in silence, the stranger's words echoing in his mind. Give and take? But what can I possibly give? For 2 days, he wrestled with the question. On the third day, something caught his eye, bright flowers blooming near the station wall. A thought sparked in his mind. What if I gave flowers to people in return for their kindness? The next morning, he picked a few blossoms and tucked them into a small bundle. When someone gave him coins, he smiled and handed them a flower. To his surprise, people smiled back. Some even thanked him. Slowly, more people began giving him money, not just out of pity, but out of appreciation for his gesture. It became his new habit. Every morning, Ravi collected fresh flowers and handed them to donors. Soon, people began to look for him, not as a beggar, but as the flower man of the station. His small act of giving changed how others saw him and how he saw himself. One day, as fate would have it, the same tall man returned to the station. Ravi rushed to him, extended a flower, and said, "Today I have something to give. Will you accept it?" The man smiled and gave him money. "You've learned well," he said. "You're not a beggar anymore. You're a businessman." Those words struck Ravi deep in the heart. He looked up at the sky and whispered, "I am not a beggar. I am a giver. I am a businessman." 6 months later, 2 well-dressed men sat across from each other on a train. One recognized the other and said, "You look familiar." The other smiled and replied, "We've met before. You once refused to give me money, and then you bought flowers from me. I was that beggar." The first man was stunned. "That was you?" "Yes," Ravi said. "And today I own a flower shop. I travel to sell in other cities. You taught me something I'll never forget. We only receive when we give. That belief changed my life." Moral of the story. True transformation begins with a change in mindset. When we stop seeing ourselves as helpless and begin adding value to the world, no matter how small, we attract opportunities, respect, and growth. Giving is not always about money. A kind gesture, a smile, a flower, these are powerful gifts. And when we give with sincerity, the universe gives back in abundance.